we'll just get going. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining me this morning. I am the Tooth Fairy in training for Delta Dental's Tooth Fairy experience, since they were unable to be here. Basically, this program has a lot of meaning. Tooth decay impacts childhood learning and development, yet more than 50% of children statewide have experienced the disease by the time they reach third grade. Okay, that's really high. Unfortunately, oral health education is not currently included as a required curriculum in any schools across the state, leaving many children without information for learning and practicing good dental health behaviors. Delta Dental of Washington understands this gap and created the Tooth Fairy experience to disrupt some of the conditions that lead so many children to experience poor oral health. The Tooth Fairy represents many of the racial and ethnic cultures of children who are at the highest risk for tooth decay. She draws attention to oral health, increases oral health literacy, and is a matchmaker for families not already connected to dental care. Delta's vision for this program is to have a cavity-free Washington and to make dental health education fun, interactive, and accessible for all of our diverse communities. They also want our communities to know that there is no perfect smile, meaning that your smile doesn't need to be white or without gaps to be beautiful. They believe and teach kids through the Tooth Fairy experience that a perfect smile is one that is happy, confident, and taken care of. Okay. Delta's mission with the Tooth Fairy aims to make dental health education interactive and fun for young kids, ages 10 and under, to help reduce cavities and increase the number of children who regularly visit the dentist. The Tooth Fairy promotes this through free virtual and in-person dental health presentations in kindergarten through second grade classrooms and at libraries, youth organizations, community centers, and more. I remember when I was a kid, I was absolutely terrified of going to the dentist. And at one point I was so scared of the dentist that I didn't go for 20 years, okay? That's a really long time to be traumatized. So I love the idea of this program, making the dentist less scary, making it worth going for, to make the kids just want to go and have a clean bill of health and to not be scared of the unknown or that chair or all of those kinds of things. The Tooth Fairy experience is easy for teachers, school librarians, and school nurses to introduce. The Tooth Fairy experience brings a free 30-minute presentation to classrooms statewide. A member of the diverse team of Tooth Fairies uses oral health puppets and science experiments to share fun and teeth facts and brushing techniques, okay? And concludes with a short, entertaining dental health themed storybook reading. Now, what kid does not love reading time, right? And Delta has several different Tooth Fairies who visit schools, each representing different races, ethnicities, and languages spoken, with the hope that children across the state will be able to see themselves being represented during these presentations. Students love the Tooth Fairy experience because it gets them up and moving and learning about how to take care of their teeth and body in a fun and engaging way. The wonderful thing about this program is that teachers are also able to download the materials on their own at Delta's Tooth Fairy website for free. They can utilize the online lesson plans as well as the storybook reading videos and ebooks to deliver the lessons to their students at any point during the year or multiple times, because repetition actually helps kids remember. Okay? There's a quote on the screen from a kindergarten teacher in Kent Valley that says, "Tooth Fairy experience was an engaging way for my students to learn about dental health and the importance of taking care of their teeth. We had so much fun. Thank you." And that's what this program is really all about, making it fun for the kids, making them realize it's not scary. And if we can get them engaged early, they'll develop that lifelong habit, and that's what we really want. Now, parents, it doesn't just start and stop with the classroom. Parents are able to download free at-home curriculum at any time through the Tooth Fairy website to start their oral health education and to actually build on what their child has learned through the visit to the Tooth Fairy in the classroom. Okay? Outside of the curriculum, the Tooth Fairy has a variety of resources. Okay? Parents can actually request a letter from the Tooth Fairy. I mean, how great is that? I mean, I would have loved to get a letter from the Tooth Fairy telling me how great I'm doing. Or even better, you can call the Tooth Fairy hotline for a message to their child and always download the free coloring worksheet and activity worksheets. The quote on the right, children often leave these lessons being able to apply the learning, okay, in their everyday lives by pointing out healthy foods at the supermarket that the Tooth Fairy encourages them to eat, and knowing they should brush and floss their teeth every night. I'm just curious, how many people have trouble getting their kids to brush their teeth? Okay? That's probably a really big one. Trying to get them to brush their teeth is like impossible. But with the Tooth Fairy and the program, it actually makes kids want to be involved, want to actually take care of their teeth. And the earlier that starts, the better off we will be. The Tooth Fairy experience also has partners outside of schools, okay, with a variety of different community organizations to bring the Tooth Fairy experience across the state. So it can be done in libraries, it can be done in housing authorities, okay, it can be done in, of course, schools, but you'd be surprised where any place that kids get together, youth clubs, community centers, any of those places, the Tooth Fairy can come and bring some education. The Tooth Fairy will present the short lesson, followed by the hands-on activities, and thinking of them how to take care of their teeth. It helps if I can talk. Delta is also interested in starting longer-term partnerships with community organizations and tailoring their Tooth Fairy experience offerings to the needs of the children we serve. So if this is something that you as an organization may be interested in bringing to the kids that you see in your community, we highly recommend that you actually reach out to the Tooth Fairy experience and partner with them and bring the Tooth Fairies to your community and help the kids really build that habit from a very young age. It really can make a lifelong difference to them. And if you want to get involved, it's just a matter of sending an email to rickyvincent@deltadentallaw.com or visiting the Tooth Fairy website, and they would love to partner with any of our membership that is involved with kids. Whether you're a housing authority and you have a lot of young residents, it's a great place to get them together. Maybe you're a school or you're a library, or you have a lot of volunteers in the community that work in maybe teen clubs or those kinds of things where there's a lot of kids around. All of those will help actually build their habit of proper dental hygiene, proper oral health. So I really hope that everyone becomes a tooth fairy in training and jumps into this. Okay. Are there any questions?
So Lisa, looks like Rochelle shared something with us. She said, my daughter started with her boys being incentivized to brush and brush often if they wanted candy or other sweets, including fruit. We told them that you'll get bugs in your teeth if you don't get rid of the sugar and old food. Nice, Rochelle. So far, so good. The oldest, which is 12, and the 5-year-old brother are still in the no cavity club. They didn't like the word bugs, and it's working. All right, thanks for sharing that. Oh, Lisa, you make a lovely tooth fairy, says Shelley.
Well, thank you. I felt like I had to kind of dress the part today. So, but this is a worthwhile program. I would love to see our members partner with Delta on this program and make the kids love oral health, love the dentist, love, not being afraid of it, because it traumatized me to the point I stayed away for 20 years. And I don't want to see that happen to another generation. So,
yeah, and
luckily I had really strong teeth.
Yeah, yes, that is good, Lisa. And thank you for sharing, because I feared going to the dentist when I was little. I mean, I would cry because I didn't like poking and prodding in my mouth. So I hear you there.
Yep.
There's a couple more chats here, Lisa. So one was to start early. Yes, starting early is key. Oh, where'd they go? There's the chats. Another one was, yeah, I was traumatized too. So we're not the only ones, Lisa. One thing I would like to add on